When I was a kid, I was taught success equaled money. I spent so many years building this amazing career, and I was the most miserable I'd ever been. Why? Because we have this fantasy of what that perfection looks like. And then when we get there, we always want more and more and more, right? And so it's really about self-reflection of what does success look like to me?
You're on the road, you're an entrepreneur, you do speaking circuits. How do you find the balance in life?
Well, let me just tell you, there is no balance.
Okay.
I struggle like everyone else, to be honest. I've really reframed it from work-life balance or work-life integration. We all need to change our expectations of what we can get done in a day. I think we all have the never-ending to-do list.
How can we integrate our professional and our personal lives? And it's going to ebb and flow based on where you are in your career, but the phases of your kids too. So it is important to not really try to establish that balance because it doesn't really exist.
If I say no to this, it's an opportunity for someone else that really wants to do this. And so that took the guilt off of me and putting those boundaries around what do I need to do within the day that are important to me and my family. And that allows me to really do more in less time. I could give you many of examples of lies that we hear. But the greatest gift we can give ourselves is permission to live by our own truths. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is by reframing the lies that we've been told for decades. It's about rewriting the rules, tearing down the lies, refusing to choose ambition versus authenticity, dreams versus your relationships. It's about redefining who you want to be and how you want to live your life. Because if we don't start reframing the lies that we've been told, we're living someone else's life.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom. Now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1. Here we go!
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Folks, the success lie, reframing your reality to thrive personally and professionally. What is the success lie? Well, I hear many people say, I pushed hard to achieve success, and once I got to the top financially, it wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. Or I hear people say I pursued success as a mom or as a dad, and when I got to that level, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. I want to see on today's show if we can kind of demystify what many have called the success lie, and it's kind of where you thought what you were pursuing maybe turned out to be not exactly what you were looking for. With that being said, Chantell, Preston, welcome on to the Thrivetime show. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Clay, for having me today.
So first off, let's talk about your book here. The title of the book is The Success Lie, Reframing Your Reality to Thrive Personally and Professionally. What inspired you to write this book, and what is this book all about?
Well, I think as we go throughout our journey of our careers, we have this mindset about what it's like when we finally get to that I have it all moment and that pinnacle of our career and how we should feel and what happens in our lives. And I'll tell you, Clay, I went through that. And then when I finally got to that place, I was like, this is it. This is nothing like I anticipated. And it was a very pivotal time in my own life because I had just sold my business and I thought, this is it, everything I'd been working for, the outcome. And I realized I forgot about the journey. And I think a lot of us go through that because we think that that's going to solve all of our issues and all of our problems. And to me, it was really a pinnacle transitional time for me is saying, wait a minute, was success really what I wanted or what everyone told me it was supposed to be? And so just doing a lot of deep dive and figuring out, did I follow everybody else's path or was this a path that I really wanted to go down?
And I'm not trying to paint you into a corner with facts and statistics, but what kind of business were you involved in? What kind of industry were you involved in before you sold your business?
Sure. I was in healthcare and I was a healthcare entrepreneur. Again, thinking in life that success revolved around money and title. That was all in my mind as to what I wanted to achieve was money and title. And if I got that, then everything else would fall into place. And so I spent my 30 years career building, to your point, working harder, more. It just didn't all add up when I finally got there. And I realized there was some things within my life that were so important that I didn't pay attention to, like relationships, my family, my kids, things like that. And I'm not saying you have to pick one or the other, but I wish I would have integrated the two together a little bit more than I did when I went through that journey.
Now, for anybody out there that wants to look you up and kind of look into your background, could you walk us through what was your life like before you wrote this book? Kind of walk us through your journey a little bit, then we'll unpack the book. What was your career like, or maybe kind of how did you get started, and walk us through your career previous to writing this book?
Sure. Getting out of college, where we think we're going and where we end up are two totally different things. I ended up in healthcare, found a niche for myself, building healthcare facilities, meaning taking them from concept all the way to operations, whether it was a company that I owned or for other clients. When I was in my late 20s, 30s, early 30s, I decided I wanted something more. I wanted to build a company where I could show we were going to give back to people, we were going to help people, and we started a company called Mentis Neurorehabilitation, and that was traumatic brain injury rehab. Well, as a lot of in those days, we didn't go raise a lot of money. We had to bootstrap that together. And so I continued to consult while we built Mentis. And so again, we didn't raise the capital, but at the end of the day, 7 years in, we ended up selling to $1 million exit to private equity. And it was just a great ride. I loved every day of my career. Let me just clarify that. I loved everything I did. I never worked a day in my life. But what I did is I sacrificed a lot of things to get to that point.
Now, I don't want to steal any thunder from your book. I don't want to steal any thunder, but I have a list of some items on my stack of stuff I want to get into with you. So I'll see if we can go rapid fire through some items that I perceive to be very important and that might showcase to our viewers why your book is a must read for many people. First off, 9 lies that are keeping women stuck. I'm certainly not a woman. I'm married to one, but I want to get your thoughts on this. What are the 9 lies that are keeping many women stuck?
Well, the first one is you can have it all. I think we have this perception that we have to be 100% to everything all the time. Perfection doesn't exist, and you can have it all, just not at the same time. The other thing is you have to say yes to everything. I think women, we want to make everyone happy around us. That's just kind of how we were built, especially my generation. And learning to say no is just as important as saying yes, but also reframing it in your mind where me saying no gives someone else the opportunity to say yes. You can have it all. You have to say yes, but also you have to pick between a career and a family. And there's got to be balance. No, there's not. There's an integration between the two. Being a mom makes me a better leader. Being a leader makes me a better mom. And how do we integrate those two together? Those are some of the lies. I could keep going on for all 9 of them, Clay, if you'd like. But those are some of the lies that I hear. And then with women, it's too late to start over. Well, when I was 20, I thought I was going to be dead by the time I was 50. Now I'm 52 and I'm just getting started. So again, it's a mindset around where do you want to be? And instead of looking 5 to 10 years out, let's look at 3 months, 6 months. Where am I right now in my life? I call it a season and reason. What's important to me now? And really reframing how we look at things so we can thrive instead of always trying to reach that perfection that doesn't exist.
Walk us through maybe one more lie, just to give people a little bit more of a look into these, because again, your research personally and professionally, it's led you to distilling these 9 lies. Maybe give us just one more lie that women often buy into.
Somebody will take care of you. Don't worry, somebody will take care of you. Therefore, we don't learn financial literacy. We entrust that with our partners, our brokers, whomever. It's very important if we be intentional with our time, our decisions, and our wealth, then that enables us a lot of freedom and being able to do the things that we want to do. So it's really about being intentional with your time and not letting other people control it.
So I want to go back into my stack of stuff, and I want to ask you this here. You have people that are I've met people, and I'm sure you've never met these people that are unbelievably successful financially, and then their personal life is a disaster. And then I met some people that their personal life is incredible, but financially they're really in a tough spot. What advice does your book give to somebody who's watching right now, feeling like, oh, I'm in one of those camps. They feel like their personal career, their personal life isn't quite happening, or their professional career isn't quite happening. What advice does your book provide for women in either one of those camps?
I would say you have to look at it in the season and reason. You're not going to be 100% all the time to everything in your life. Everything ebbs and flows. And I think that that's something that we have to look at. If you're 100% here, you may be 50% here. I think what we're trying to do is be 100% everywhere. And look, I'm the same way. The success light came around when I sold my business, my whole life blew up, my personal life. And again, it was a really fascinating time because I thought, well, this is it. I have it all. Everything should just fall into place. So I think sometimes you have to step back and say, what's the season I'm in right now? What's important to me now? And focus on that instead of trying to be everything to everyone. Focus on where you are in your career and in your life.
I really love what I do. I know some people don't like what they do. I know some people like what they do less than I do. Maybe somebody likes what they do more than I like what I do. But I hear lots of questions about burnout, and I'm not judging anybody out there. I personally don't struggle with burnout. There's other areas of my life that maybe I struggle with, but I love work, so I don't have a burnout. But I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that say, I am burned out, man. I am on and you talk to me, you can just sense they're a moment away, a strong breeze away from collapsing. What do you say to an entrepreneur watching this, men or women, that find themselves on the verge of burnout?
I say that you need to be more intentional with your time and you control it, not everyone else. What I've seen with a lot of entrepreneurs is they're burnout because they're trying to do everything. Build a great team around you, not just yes people that you can delegate to. And I think that we get into this habit of we have to do everything ourselves. We've gotten to a society where busyness seems like you're productive. It's not the case. Where can I be most productive and how do I schedule my time to be intentional? And I tell entrepreneurs all the time, just because you're doing everything doesn't mean that you're productive. And so it's really controlling that, but also having the ability to reset. I used to think, go, go, go. I don't need to reset. I'm young, I'm healthy. But the reality is we all need an opportunity to kind of reset. I have a meeting on my calendar every week, 1 hour that's mine, and I can do whatever I want with it, whether it's go for a walk, whether it's a massage, whatever I decide that I need that week to reset. And that enables me to be more productive with the time that I have. And so those are some of the tips that I give some of the entrepreneurs.
Your background is mind-blowing. I'm just going to read some of this stuff from my stack of stuff here. You're a recent inductee into the Texas Women's Hall of Fame. What? You're a serial entrepreneur and you are a recent inductee into the Texas Women's Hall of Fame. How is it possible? How are you into the Women's Hall of Fame and a top entrepreneur? Tell us more about your background.
So really, it's about giving back. I mean, I have a mentality, do the right thing, the money will come. And it's also about giving back to other people and having an impact. The greatest successes that I have are the generations or the people that I've brought in behind me, and I've seen them grow. So I think with the Texas Hall of Fame, it's really about what type of impact are you able to give back? And that is changing the narrative for the next generation of women of how we have to be in business, but also all the entrepreneurs, especially in the healthcare market. How can I help them achieve their own goals by being an advisor, being an investor, being a way, an avenue, a resource for them to help live their dreams? And I think that that's probably correlates to the Women's Hall of Fame.
Now, you're also the host of the Get Real, Get Results podcast. There's somebody watching this right now and they go, Clay, I like your guest a lot more than you. No offense, Clay, but I'm going to stop listening to you, start listening to her. That's my plan. Somebody says, man, I really connect with her. I want to learn more. Tell us about your podcast. How often are you putting out the podcast? What kind of subjects do you cover?
So my podcast is every 2 weeks it drops. It's anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, depending on the format. Sometimes it's me just talking to my guests and telling them just different things in business that have transpired. And sometimes I'm interviewing guests such as you do. And again, it's about women and their trials and tribulations. We do deal with a little bit different than sometimes of our male counterparts. For instance, I just did one recently on the sandwich generation, us taking care of our parents as well as our kids at the same time and how challenging it is. So really the goal of my podcast, Clay, is for women to be able to have a safe place to go and have hard conversations. and be able to realize that they're not the only ones that are dealing with some of the things that we deal with.
Now, I understand you're also a co-owner of the League One volleyball professional team in San Francisco. How did you get involved in that? Tell us what transpired to get involved with the volleyball team.
So again, it's about impact, right? I want to support and elevate other women. And this was a very public way of me, instead of standing in the corner, clapping and saying, good luck, it was for me to put my money where my mouth is and invest in women. I'm a huge proponent that it's not a charity. It's a great investment, a great return on investment. And so therefore, I chose to go into the sports sector. If you look at valuations right now in women's sports, I think we've all seen it's escalating quickly. So I wanted to get in with volleyball. It's the fastest growing sport in the US for women. I wanted to get in, make an impact. I wanted to open the door, and I wanted to bring lots of women with me and show that women supporting and owning women businesses and sports teams is the norm, not the exception.
How does a women's volleyball team derive revenue? Is it primarily through advertising, ticket sales? Is it, if you kind of look at the pie chart of revenue, is it all of the above? Walk us through a little bit about the mechanics of being a co-owner of a women's professional volleyball team.
Now, like with any professional team, there's four main sectors. You have merchandise, you have tickets, you have media rights, and you have sponsorships. Obviously you want to make money off of those, but the reality is the value really comes from some type of exit or liquidity event.
So do you, how long have you been a co-owner of the team?
So we just purchased a team the day before Thanksgiving of last year. We'll have our first season come January 2027. The league is only 2 years old. They just finished their second season. We're going into the third season. The first two seasons, they had 6 teams. The next season, we'll have 10 teams. And so again, the ultimate goal was for us to provide an ecosystem for women to continue to stay in the U.S. to play sports after their collegiate careers. And we're doing that by, obviously, League One volleyball.
Okay, so I'm going to shift gears again. You're a keynote speaker too. I mean, you've spoken for TEDx, you've spoken for big corporations. What do you do? Like, what does your normal day look like at this point? Let's walk us through. Like, what time are you waking up? What are you doing? You kind of walk us through the daily routine for somebody out there that's inspired by all the things you're doing. Walk us through your daily, your typical day.
Gosh, Clay, every day is a different day. I'll just say that. But, with kids, I have 3 kids at home. I have a 15-year-old and twin 8-year-olds. So my day starts with getting the kids ready for school, getting them up and going, doing all those mom duties that I have to do before I get to the office. When I get to the office, there's a multitude of things that could be transpiring, whether it's I still have a lot of companies that I am involved with as an investor and or advisor. What needs to be done with those? Also, a lot of my time at this point is with the team, and how do we build the culture and continue to build our team around the volleyball team? And so there's just a lot of stay at the office till 5, 6 like everyone else, and then I go home. I do try to pick my daughter up, my 15-year-old up from school. She's still in high school, and so I want to get as much window time as I can before I lose her. Usually take about an hour to go do that, and then come back and finish the things that I need to finish.
Do you have a certain time of the day where you like to organize your day, or a certain time of the night where you like to organize your day? How do you organize your day?
So, Clay, I organize my day the night before. I want to make sure when I wake up, there's minimal decisions that I have to make before I get out of the house. So I try to be prepared for that. Also, what do I really need to do? And this goes back to my family as well. On Sunday evenings, we have meetings that we call Forum, and we talk about logistics of the week. Why is everything falling on my shoulders, right? I'm almost running my family like I run my business. Let's talk about logistics. Who's responsible for what? And then that allows us to start the week without having that, their crisis becomes my crisis. So it's really around planning and preparation, but also looking at my calendar and determining what do I really not need to be at. I think we get in this habit of always being in meetings and always doing things because we feel like we have to. But what is really important for me to be at? Those are the things I'm going to focus on, and everything else I'm going to go ahead and delegate to someone else so I can make sure that I'm achieving my own goals of what I'm trying to do.
There is some very tempting, high-quality ice cream available at a grocery store near us. And somebody's watching this right now going, I'm thinking about tonight, I shouldn't, but I'm probably going to buy an expensive bougie ice cream. I might buy a regrettable burrito or two. There's a lot of ways people could blow $25 pretty quickly. Or they could buy a copy of your new book here. I'll put it up on the screen in just a minute. The Success Lie. Why is your book potentially a better investment than a regrettable burrito?
Because it's going to give you the permission to rewrite the rules the way you want to live your life, and go ahead and take everything that you've learned and rethink it, because we're given a bunch of lies that we didn't create, and a bunch of rules that we didn't create. So how do we rewrite those and reframe them where we can live our best life? And this gives that reader permission to be able to do that.
If somebody gets the book, how's the book organized? Is it, are you breaking it up into like a story form, or are there a lot of case studies, a lot of examples, how do you organize the book?
So the book is really a lot about my own experiences. There's obviously statistics in there, but I wanted to make it enjoyable for the reader, where it was very relatable to them. And I'm very vulnerable and very raw. So there's just a lot of stories. And then we talk about, let's talk about the lies, let's talk about the reality reframes. And it really gives them an opportunity to really think through. And there's a lot of questions throughout to think about their own life and how does that relate to their own lives. So you've got the lies, and then you've got the next chapters that help you kind of put that all together, and how can you reframe it based on your circumstances.
What are your, what do you, if you look back kind of your career, and I'll ask you about the future here, as you look back, do you have any major learning opportunities that you document in the book where you look back and go, oh man, that could have been done a lot better, or anything where you look forward and you say, wow, moving forward, I do it differently because of this, or anything where you could share kind of a big learning moment that maybe readers could discover in your book?
Absolutely. As an entrepreneur, we sometimes get really bored and we start doing things outside of our wheelhouse. We did that a few times, and I tell you, Clay, it didn't turn out very well. So again, it's about not being everything to everyone, jack of all trade, master of none. It's how do I stay in the lane that I'm in to be the best that I can be? And I made some very big mistakes earlier in my career by doing that, thinking that I could be everything, and realizing that's not how you really build your wealth or what you're trying to do in your career.
So what's the website that we're trying to direct everybody to for people that want to plug in and learn more about you and what you do?
Sure. It's chantellpreston.com. Pretty simple.
chantellpreston.com. I'm pulling it up on the screen here. chantellpreston.com. You tell me if I'm on the wrong website, because there's millions of websites that are not chantellpreston.com.
That's it.
There you go, folks. If you want to go to the wrong website, you can go to espn.com, amazon.com. There's just thousands of websites, millions of websites that are the wrong website, but chantellpreston.com. That's the website. Tell us what kind of tools or resources our viewers can expect to find at chantellpreston.com.
Sure. You can go in and do an assessment in regards to what are the biggest lies that you've been living by, and do an assessment so you know where are the triggers for myself and what I have been able to, deal with throughout my career. So you've got some assessments in there. You've got lots of questions. We've got a master class coming up. So there's a lot of things that we're doing to just help people be in those safe environments where they can ask questions and know that other people are dealing with the same thing that they're dealing with.
Let's say that I'm watching this show right now and I'm going, okay, I really want to hear Chantell just let it rip. What is it that every listener watching this show needs to know? If you had a billboard you could put up for everyone to see, you could send everyone a text message. What's the message you want to convey to everybody watching this, and specifically the women watching today's show?
You control your destiny by the decisions that you make. And no one's going to advocate for you like you're going to advocate for yourself. So know your value, know what you want, and make sure that you advocate for that. That's really the biggest things, because I hear a lot of women running $500-600 million companies and they still have imposter syndrome. Know your value, believe in yourself, and be your number one advocate.
When you do a speaking event, which you do often, and you speak in front of hundreds or thousands of women, what kind of questions does your audience typically ask you when people come up and do a little frequently asked questions or a Q&A set? What kind of follow-up questions are you typically hearing from audiences when they learn about the success lie?
Sure. It's things, could be anywhere from how did you deal with your family and having a child? I love my career. I love what I'm doing. Why did you decide so late in life to have children? Things like that, things that they're struggling with because they don't know what to do. And I give them my own experience. Look, Clay, no high achieving person likes to be told what to do. I want to share my experiences so they can gain more knowledge to make good decisions. Whether it's that, or how do I say no to things? How do I be intentional with my time? How do I start over? What if I think it's too late? Those are a lot of the questions that I get, hence the reason why I put the lies in there.
What time are you trying to start your day right now, at this point in your life? Like, what time are you trying to wake up? What time are you trying to wind it down? Like, what's your boundaries?
Well, I wish it was a lot later, but 6 a.m. we're up in my house. I mean, I still have 8-year-old twins, so we're up. And then usually, again, I am getting a little bit older, so by 10 o'clock, I'm pretty much ready to hit the sack.
So in your book, you do talk about boundaries. You do speak about boundaries. Let's get into boundaries for a second. I meet a lot of people. I talked to a woman yesterday, just a wonderful woman. Her and her husband pastor a church, and she's taken calls every hour of every day. Everybody, funerals, weddings, crisis. And I'm going, hey, I'm not your coach. I'm not your advisor. I just know you. You're asking me as a podcast host for advice. She was saying, Clay, you get invitations to speak and for guests. How do you handle it? And I asked her a follow up. And long story short, I'm going, I don't speak for God. I don't speak for your church. But if you feel that overwhelmed, I mean, you got to set up some kind of boundary. What do you say to somebody like that who's running a church or an organization where they feel like they're 24/7 tethered to their phone, their email, their device?
I think you have to look at leading by example. And again, I used to be that same person, that I was that important that I had to answer those calls right then and there. What I did was prove to those around me that were with me were not as important as what was happening on my phone. And so I think being present and listening to and being in the moment is incredibly important. Like, I used to have no boundaries. I was on call 24/7. I had a client that called me at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, meet me at IHOP at 4 a.m. And I got out of bed to do it. I realize as I've gotten further in my career that if I'm not setting boundaries, then people will take advantage of your time. So you have to have that time for yourself and your family and those relationships that are important to you, or you may not have those relationships. So I have a hard stop at a certain time where I'm going to put my kids, I'm going to focus on them. I have quality time with my kids, not quantity time sometimes, because obviously I have a lot going on. So if I'm going to be with them or my friends or my spouse, I am going to be very intentional and be present.
Final question. You've got the mic. You've got the floor. A lot of times I know great people like you get up a podcast and you think to yourself sometimes like, man, I wish he would have asked me this, or I really wanted to convey this, or this is something on my heart. What is the message you want to convey to our listeners out there that are maybe hearing these messages for the first time?
I would say, I think a lot with women, we think we're all alone. You're not alone. A lot of us are going through the exact same thing. And it's great to be able to have really hard conversations that aren't normalized. And the more that we start normalizing these conversations, the better off we're all going to be. And so this, again, is a safe place for women or men to come to be able to say, hey, look, I'm having these challenges and I'm not alone. And I'm getting permission to change my life by rewriting the rules that weren't written for me to begin with.
Folks, I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Everybody, we can check out the website one more time. I want to check out the book here. The website is chantellpreston.com. chantellpreston.com. I've never met a Chantell, and now I have. chantellpreston.com. That's the website, chantellpreston.com. Now, if you want to check out the book on Amazon, you can also go to Amazon. I'll put a link to both there. And again, the book is The Success Lie, Reframing Your Reality to Thrive Personally and Professionally. The Success Lie, Reframing Your Reality to Thrive personally and professionally. Chantell, I really appreciate you. I know you're a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for putting up with me and my bizarre interview format. You are the best, and may every interview you do after this become better and better, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clay.
Take care. Bye-bye. Folks, on today's show, I heard about today's guest from a good friend of mine, a longtime client of mine. We've worked with a client for, we'll call it 8 years, 7 years, and her name is Trisha. And her and her husband, they run a company. They run a company together called Papa Gallo's. It's a pizzeria. They also run, Trisha and Dave, they also run an ice cream business called Beaches and Cream. They also run 2 breakfast restaurants called Morning Glory. They have a lot going on. They're out there in beautiful Satellite Beach. And Trisha called me, a very respected entrepreneur. She said, Clay, you've got to interview this guest, Bella Denson. She's an up-and-coming rising superstar. She's highly motivated, potentially caffeinated. You got to get her on the show. Bella Denson, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
I'm excited to have you on the show. I have to ask you, what is it that you do, and how did you first meet Trisha and Dave over there at Papa Gallo's, Morning Glory, and Beaches and Cream?
So I'll answer your second question first. I first met them when I was going into my junior year of high school, which is now, but I met them a few months ago in May of 2026. I was looking for my first summer job, and my friend worked there, and I decided to go in and apply. And I met Trish, and I was telling her this last night. she is very hard to read. So originally, you like go up to a person and you're talking with them and you want to like introduce yourself, make a good impression. I could not figure out if Trish liked me or not. She was like looking at me. She had a little bit of like tension in her eyes. I'm like, I don't know. I think she hates me. Come to find out, when I get the job about a week later, I'm done with training, done with shadowing. She is my favorite boss ever. She, like you said, she's a very respected entrepreneur, her and Dave. And I've just absolutely loved working with them, meeting them, and being a part of their company so far. So that's how I met Trish and Dave. And to answer your second question, a little bit about me, I would call myself more of a social entrepreneur because I know that you have a lot of entrepreneurs on your calls and your Thrivetime show. And I would call myself someone that's an advocate, especially for youth-led organizations. Should I go deeper on that?
Well, I'm gonna. Hey, you go as deep as you want to go, and I'm gonna pull this up real quick because I want people to have a little context too about this. Papa Gallows, that's the business, that's the website, papagallows.com. It's in Satellite Beach, Florida. You have the Satellite Beach breakfast business called Morning Glory. You've got the ice cream business or the gelato business called Beaches and Cream. And for anybody who wants to visit, if you Google search Satellite Beach ice cream, you can look at it on the Google map. You can find it. It's right there. It's a beautiful ocean view, and it really is a wonderful a series of businesses right there. I've been there, folks. It's right there on the water. I'll drop in the man. I'm dropping in the man. We're walking around the parking lot. So this is the place right here. What a great place to have ice cream, to have breakfast, to have pizza. It's right there. With that being said, back to you. Tell us more about your social entrepreneurship, my friend.
All right. So previously, Start Business Smart is now Youth Business Foundation. I originally started it because I'm very passionate about underserved communities and underserved youths, especially. As someone coming from a low income family myself, it's very hard to find resources and opportunities without having the income or just the money in general to be able to be involved in them, or the money to travel to their locations, because a lot of things are in person. So you can't necessarily go on remote opportunities and get to speak with entrepreneurs, founders, business professionals. So me, someone very interested in business, finance, entrepreneurship especially, I find it very hard to connect with professionals because when I was searching for things online or things to get involved in, there really isn't that much you can do, especially in finance as well, because you can't really work with people's money as a teenager. So I decided to create Youth Business Foundation in light of teens that didn't have those opportunities. Everything we offer is 100% free. And the main idea behind it is our virtual summits. The virtual summits are designed for students to come in and get on a Zoom call or a Google Meet and meet with founders, executives, business owners to allow students to figure out how they want to shape their life moving forward. So say you think you're going into business, you really like the business area, we're going to bring someone in that is in a corporate business position or a founder of a company and have them talk about their experience, have them talk about how they got there, their challenges and how they like overcame them. And basically it's formed in a 1 hour session. So the last 15 minutes is going to be a live Q&A for students to actually get questions, answer questions or get questions in so that the executive can answer them.
And how old are you?
I'm 16.
16. And so you were just thinking, you're going, man, I got to find some kind of job. I remember I grew up without money, so I was working at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. That was kind of my path. How did you heard about Papa Gallows through your friend who worked there? Is that right?
Well, so I've always grown up. I live in Satellite Beach, and I've lived here my entire life. So I've always been growing up going to Papa Gallows and going to Morning Glory recently as they opened in, I think 2020 it was. So we actually do Morning Glory for every Father's Day, every birthday, and I've just grown up going there, and I love it. I love their food. I love their restaurant. I love Dave and his Papa Gallows experience and him founding Papa Gallows. And when I found out my friend worked there, I'm like, I want to go in. I want to see what this is like. And I actually was playing pickleball, and I needed to fill my water up. And that's the only reason I really ended up going in there. But I was also searching for a job at the time, as a teenager in the summer does. And I decided to ask my friend, I'm like, hey, are you guys hiring? And I ended up, well, actually, my friend actually ended up throwing both of us, Trish and I, into kind of an uncomfortable situation. This is another thing we were talking about last night, but it was kind of sprang on both of us because I asked if they were hiring, and Allie was like, yeah, sure. But I'm like, okay, I'll come in the next day and look presentable because pickleball, sweaty. I didn't look nice, and she brings Trish out from Papagalla's next door, and she's like, Trish, meet Bella, Bella, meet Trish. And both of us were kind of sprung on it. So that's kind of how I got to meeting them. But I mean, it was just an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I get the opportunity to work with them now.
So what kind of traction are you gaining with this platform you're developing? Where do you see it going? What are you working on right now? Maybe what are some early wins?
Okay, so some early wins is I've gotten in contact with a lot of executives. I think that most notably right now we're working towards our chapter program, we have a national program, which is like the highest level. Everyone's involved. We have students from multiple different states and Puerto Rico and Afghanistan coming in and working with us and on my leadership team. But we're trying to expand that to local communities like Satellite Beach itself. So in the way, we want to bring our national virtual calls with founders and executives down to the local level. So in communities, a student starts a YBF chapter at their high school. And at this high school chapter, they're contacting local businesses and startups and anything that they want to involve themselves in with the business world. And they're going to try and help connect the students with the founders and with the people that they want to learn from. So one of the things that we're doing with the chapters is we're bringing in professionals to talk with the students and give them kind of life advice, not necessarily like any advice, but advice on their path and how they got there and what things that the high school students could do if they're interested. But then also we're starting student-run consulting groups within these chapters that's going to allow students to work hands-on and solve the problems of these businesses.
And do you have friends of yours that are also entrepreneurial minded? Is this something you have buddies, people you hang out with that share similar worldviews, or do you find yourself to be somewhat alone in your entrepreneurial pursuits?
I'm going to be honest, I've found it very difficult in my community to find people that are like-minded. So I do not actually currently have anyone from my school working on my SBS or YBF team. I honestly haven't found the right group of people right now in my community that thinks the same way as me. And I say in my community because the people that I have met, the students, the young entrepreneurs, the student leaders that I have met through the network we've created, they are like me. They're the people that I enjoy getting on the phone with and working with and do conference and calls and working in Canva and doing all this stuff with. Those are the people that really resonate with the way I think.
What is there a website that people can go to if they want to follow you or learn more about you, or certain social media platforms? Where can people go to plug in and to learn more about what you're doing?
Of course. So on Instagram, we have our name. It's going to be Youth Business Foundation. We're currently, I know you and Trish have kind of talked about this, but we're currently in the process of redesigning the entire brand. We were previously Start Business Smart. So all of the posts that you're going to see on Youth Business Foundation on Instagram is going to have the Start Business Smart label, the logo, the color scheme. Everything is Youth Business Foundation, but it's kind of like outdated in a sense. So on the Instagram as well, you're going to find a link to our website on our link tree, and that's where you're going to find more information on the website. But if you really want to learn about it, you'd have to contact me and get involved because that's where all the information is.
Final question I have here for you. For anybody out there that would like to plug in with you, connect with you, maybe just get in touch, what's the best way, the most pragmatic way? How do you want people to reach out to you?
Probably my email. That's a pretty...
And what email address do you want people to shoot you at?
belladenson10@gmail.com.
Can you repeat that again? I didn't mean to cut you off. For anybody out there who's maybe listening while driving or something. Or can you repeat that email one more time?
You're okay. belladenson10@gmail.com.
belladenson10@gmail.com. Now, I'm going to give you the final moment here, the final word. For anybody out there that's taking notes, final 60 seconds, you can share whatever's on your heart. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that tune into this broadcast. What is it that you want to convey or share with our audience today?
Well, I mean, coming from a 16-year-old, I'm young, inexperienced compared to a lot of probably your viewers and your listeners right now. But probably the biggest thing that I've learned about myself is be ambitious and be passionate about what you're doing. No entrepreneur out there is going to be so successful in something if they're not truly passionate about what they're doing, their item, their thing that they invented, their organization. You have to be passionate about it to put in the time because it takes a lot of effort.
I 100% agree with that, and I really do appreciate you for carving out time. Tricia speaks so highly of you. I know she and Dave absolutely love having you to be a part of their business family. Thank you so much there, Miss Bella Denton. I appreciate you, and you're always welcome back on the show.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye-bye. Are you looking to start or grow a super successful business? Join Eric Trump, the New York Times bestselling author of The Carnivore Diet, Sean Baker. Join hundreds of real business owner client success stories at the highest rated business conference in America. Join Mel K, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, and myself in Tulsa, Oklahoma, November 5th and 6th. Attend the most real, the most authentic, the highest rated, and most reviewed Ultimate Business Growth Workshop. During this 2-day interactive business workshop, you're going to learn everything you need to know to make your business grow. Learn how to generate more sales. Learn how to produce additional high-quality inbound leads. Learn how to create repeatable systems. Learn how to build a successful business. And learn how to do it now. If you've ever wanted to learn how to start and grow a super successful company, this is the event for you. At our 2-day interactive business workshop, we will teach you specifically every step that you need to take to start and grow a super successful company. We will teach you specifically how to get to the top of the Google search engine results, how to dominate artificial intelligence search results, how to market via social media, how to generate more leads, and how to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. We're going to teach you the step-by-step processes that you need to learn in order to hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality employees and teammates. We're going to teach you specifically what you need to learn to manage a team of people. We're going to teach you how to manage your finances, how to look at the numbers, and to figure out the specific steps that you need to take to create a time freedom and financial freedom producing business. At the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, we've been teaching entrepreneurs everything they need to know to start and grow a successful company since 2005. In fact, at our 2-day interactive business workshops, we're going to teach you marketing, systems and scaling, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and so much more. You can learn more and request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. Yes, you can request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website. Join Eric Trump, myself, and Team America live and in person at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, November 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement.
Okay, Aaron Antis, November 5th and 6th. Guess who's coming back to Tulsa? I will give you a hint. His first name is Eric, and his last name is Trump. Whoa. And his father is the 47th president of these United States. Yes, Eric Trump is joining us once again here September 25th and 26th in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. But Eric Trump is bringing friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Grace will be in the place. Dr. Stella Emanuel will be here in T-Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Julie Green will be on the scene. Mel K will be here to say hey. Dave Scarlett from the His Glory team will be here. It's going to be a blasty blast right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you want to start or grow a super successful company, if you want to make your wallet great again or make your wallet great for the first time, if you want to learn marketing, systems, scaling, human resources, accounting, social media, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and more, get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Play is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely... It's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but the Trump Organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump Organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump Organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, he needed a competent man to run and execute his business plans. Showtime! So the man that runs the Trump Organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. Right. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had
718 people. 718 people.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years, so let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah, we're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. and you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. I mean, there's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
You know, I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. I should. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet.
I was looking to learn how to take my business, like they've said today, from being very successful to being systematic. I've got a very successful practice in 3 different cities, make good money. Just want to take it to the next level with systems and processes to where I can drive my cars more.
Paul Hood.
I've been a CPA for 33 years.
And what kind of growth have you and your great team had here over the past, let's say, 5-6 years?
For the last 5, when I met you 5 years ago, we were doing 3 million. This year we'll do 24 million.
Whoa. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the, it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
a storage space.
Storage units.
Yeah.
This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have admin, sales person that works for us full time, developing an online system, and a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that, his stuff is not, revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff.
It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that. Whoa.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. It is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Whoa. What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue, maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.
Whoa.